BH3 are coming through from the elimination bracket of the Open, and perhaps they can take them down.
And if you're a fan of BH3, or if this is your first introduction to them, they are the third-seeded European team that qualified. You might see some familiar faces across the board as well. Septiq is there from J-Lings all the way back in year 1 and 2. Mose, a pillar of the European community, you might say, with a couple of French young guns in there to complete the squad.
Yeah, so the return of Septiq, I think, is the important factor for this squad. For all the talk about mouse and keyboard players and Wootum, Septiq also playing on the keys, I believe. I mean, I don't think he switched back to, but just judging by the angle of the keyboard.
The keyboard is turned just a touch.
The angle of the keyboard and the fact it's lit up means that it's his keyboard. So I think that we will be seeing Septiq on mouse and keyboard. So very interested to see how he will play, because of course he went through the whole of Open Bracket playing on Xbox and then moves over to compete now on PC. So that's going to be exciting.
And for Mose, he's been trying to get back here for a long time. There's been a little bit of a cool down period for him, trying to build a squad, get the right reps in, then really challenge teams in that open bracket. And finally, Mose is back here where he will feel he belongs.
Yeah, back onto the main stage. The real question for BH3 is, can they avoid becoming BH03? Right, you don't want to just walk into pool play from open bracket and then suddenly get absolutely walloped by everyone who's already found themselves in this kind of championship side. And their first test is going to be Gen.G. And would you think that this is the best option for them to have game 1 here? Or would you think that maybe they warm up with an Optic Gaming or a TSM? Because, you know, you look at what happened yesterday, and I think typically you wouldn't want to come into this pool. But after what happened, I'd be saying, yeah, I think Pool A, actually, maybe we can make a little shake-up here.
Well, I think if you're talking about confidence and momentum being huge things, I think you're looking at Gen.G coming off the back of 2 losses. Their confidence and their momentum should be low. BH3 going through that gauntlet of the open bracket, they should be on the up and maybe catching Gen.G a little bit cold here. But here is the series layout, Dan. What have you got your eye on?
I think CTF Aquarius is a really good way to start for both teams, warming up on the day, just because it is quite a fast-paced map and, of course, 5 flags to work with as well. So even if you struggle to begin with, you've got a chance to get back into the game. We saw it yesterday, a team going 3-0 down, but then suddenly walking back in with a 3-3. So I think this will be a brilliant start for both teams just to get warmed up.
Make no mistake about it though, BH3 will be the underdog in this series. The reward for making it all the way through the open bracket, Dan, it doesn't get much easier. You then play against the top dogs, the big guns, and Gen.G, although vulnerable, they're still a top squad.
Yeah, I don't want to underestimate Gen.G. I know how good they are, and I am expecting them to get through pool play. But I guess it is shields up, it's weapons hot. We are underway here at Saturday at DreamHack Dallas at the HCS Open. And I'm excited to see how the open teams do. That's always the best part of pool play. It's just seeing what happens when they arrive into the pools.
3 dead for BH3. A pretty tough start. Sunriiz doing what he can to do as much damage and waiting for his teammates to spawn back up. RyaNoob got the flag over the halfway line. And Mose fighting for the back foot. Both players down to no shields. As Common backs away and opts to play his life instead. Septiq in the front base, down to no shields. Gives him the wiggles. The mouse and keyboard coming out. Will Common be able to spare his pushes? Yes, he does, but Mose is there to capitalise and get the kill. Breakingshot moving this flag forward. He's down numbers, though. And Sunriiz is going to stop that with a fresh 5 to the back.
Mose takes him down as well. It's temporarily all 4 down on the side of Gen.G. And here is Septiq. Now, the reason why I pointed him out is he wasn't on this BH3 roster last event. He was a new inclusion for the qualification process to get here. And, of course, mouse and keyboard. We've always got to shout out the mouse and keyboard players. I think Scoob also qualified with Mindfreak, right? So we now have 3 mouse and keyboard players in pool play.
I think Rice as well actually plays on mouse and keyboard.
Yes, we've got 4 there.
4 mouse and keyboards total. They're starting to take over. They're a plague, Dan.
That's one way to look at it. As a true controller player yourself.
Yeah, I'm a control pad purist. They don't belong here. Breakingshot, he doesn't belong where he is standing right now in the courtyard either. Sunriiz trying to do damage to the player in Fridge. Double kill, all 4 dead for BH3 now. This is spelling danger for the French, the English, and the Maltese man.
How do you spell danger in French?
Actually, is it just danger with like an accent somewhere?
Danger.
Is it le danger? Mose doesn't actually want to be called Maltese, I remember.
He's Italian.
He prefers Italian. So I'll apologize to him here and now.
Hear me out. Do you think Breakingshot looks a little bit like Louis V. Titan's brother?
I could see it across the eyes. I can see it across the eyes.
Yeah, and the flat peaks I think helps as well. Anyway, Common's just gone down. Breakingshot will also be taken down by Mose as well. So 2 dead from the side of Gen.G. It's another camouflage for the sneaky beaky master himself, RyaNoob.
Flag getting returned. You have to wonder, Dan, they had BH3 all 4 dead, and that flag didn't get punched in There are errors and mistakes that are being made early on here. BH3 can capitalize on that.
Yeah, will it come to bite them in the backside a little bit? Mose has been winning a lot of 1v1s, I will say that for him. We know that he has an incredible aim. He gets into those individual fights, so if he can keep being aggressive at the right times and taking down some of these Gen.G members, it might just create enough space for BH3 to possibly get into the base and get a flagpole of their own.
Common drops down to car jump. Septiq is bottom middle. He spots him out. Septiq just doesn't look the right way. Sometimes you have to look left and right before you cross the road, or exactly leave the bottom middle area. BastosS in the closet, down to no shields. Breakingshot will stand there with him, and he's quite happy to just stand still.
You should have known it's in America. You look right then left.
Oh, of course.
Europeans, they just can't get it right when they're over here in North America.
Not making it right either. 4 dead at the moment, and their flag is on the move. This one should get punched in. This should be the opening and the capture for Gen.G. Sparing any complete blunders. Mose is going to fall in the closet, and they've got to clear out KingNick from this closet area, or he could further compound their misery.
Yeah, KingNick just absolutely demolishing him there. The longer he controls closet is just going to be so awkward. At least they do get the trade. I think we saw this a few times from several teams yesterday, just constantly pushing into the Gen as RyaNoob screams across at Mose. I said Mose had been winning some 1v1s, but that's now 2 that have gone in favor of Gen.G. And you get to see that perfect medal now on the kill feed as well, just to add extra misery. RyaNoob still screaming at people.
Screaming at people from the death screen. It's good to see him very passionate this early in the morning as well. He's had his tea, his coffee, his Weetabix, whatever it is, it's working.
Well, he knows that this is an important game, right? If Gen.G lose this series, they're out of the tournament. Simple as that. Can't qualify if you go 0-3, so they have to beat BH3 here, and then hope that BH3 don't go on to beat the likes of TSM or the likes of Optic Gaming, and then end up in some sort of weird three-way, two-way tie.
Both flags pulled out for the moment. As Gen.G are actually 2 dead at the moment. Common's going to push up over towards the B side. Sunriiz will get the flag all the way back now to his own fridge stairs. BastosS will pick it up. This is good prioritization from BH3. Capitalizing on damage put down. They have to get the return here, though. They should be able to. Nobody in position to really put a stop to this. 1-1 now, the score.
Sunriiz just had to do everything. Literally had to drop the flag, return the flag, cap the flag, avoid all the bullets. He does get a job done, but maybe a counter-cap opportunity now available for Gen.G. Especially with Breakingshot being able to take this position. BH3, I think, is sending 2 players around, and yes, okay, they will be able to shut him down. Now Common has his opportunity to take a fight.
I have to say, BH3 have been clinical, Dan. They've had that one real opportunity to get that flag capture, and they've capitalized on it. And you need to do that against squads like Gen.G. You have to try and wobble them a bit, throw them off their axis, make them uncomfortable if you're going to cause an upset.
Similarly, I think the reason why, RyaNoob's not only shouting because he's hitting good shots, but I think you want to try and get in the heads a little bit nice and early of the team that's arriving from the open bracket. Just let them know that they're in big boy land now. And it isn't going to be an easy ride, and every fight is going to be a difficult one. RyaNoob again, happy to challenge against Mose as well. Certainly feeling confident right now. Oh, he hit the wall. Might have hit it.
The help of the thruster pack means KingNick can win that fight. Unfortunately for him, all 4 dead now. Sunriiz was up for the moment, and he's got camouflage in his chest. He's pushing forward. 2 players spawn over towards closet. Mose should have that information to help the audio cues. Septiq gets a kill. KingNick's going to fall once again. Septiq get a double kill. Sunriiz putting down more damage. This flag's on the move. This is perfect for BH3.
Yeah, that flag's already moving. BastosS has got maybe RyaNoob to get through, who's already in the base. Does he know it? Doesn't matter. RyaNoob might not be able to get there in time, and he won't. So BH3 will take the lead here, 2-1. RyaNoob again is going to try and go for the counter. He gets a double kill to go alongside it. Real question is, can they get this one moving this time? Common is going to be there to help him. Sunriiz the last remaining player, so it looks like a counter could happen.
BH3 did put a lot of resources into that flag capture. They've been punished now on the counter attack. So although Gen.G lose a flag, they gain one. 2-2 the score into the final 5 minutes.
Who is it who called Sunriiz?
It was probably Wes. He likes to do that.
I kind of like it though. Sun's out today providing some Riz. Breakingshot now seeing 3 members of BH3 down, does start to move the flag, but quickly drops it because they want to start worrying about the spawners. Good shots.
Solid shots. They can now drive this flag forward. Sunriiz trying to do damage. They'll make it through to bottom middle. Just cutting off those angles, ensuring no more damage could be taken. All the good work BH3 put in has become undone. As now Gen.G retake the lead.
Brilliant play from Breakingshot though, initially pulling that flag, dropping it, recognizing that his bullets and his damage was going to be important for that whole passage of play. But then as soon as he'd done enough damage, he said, look, I'm just going to get my head down and start moving this flag. He was one shot, but I think he put his head down in real life. It must have helped as well. Now he's got camouflage to work with. 3 minutes and 48 seconds left on the clock here, so still time for BH3, but Gen.G in the ascendancy.
The issue is that BH3 are playing Halo on the wrong side of the court. Now another flag is pulled out. Breakingshot trying to make it over the halfway point. He's managed to prioritize staying alive here as well, as Septiq and Mose are on staggered spawns. BastosS trying to do damage from the shroom stairs, but he's going to fall as well. And you can tell they're desperately trying to prioritize the flag there, but that means that all the meanwhile they're taking damage from everywhere else. Trying to toss this flag up. Shades to the phase plan. Tossed up yesterday, but they fumbled it this time to do Gen.G. But no issue, no concern. 4-2 the score.
Breakingshot's just hitting so many comfortable shots that anyone who goes into a bandit battle with him has been really turned over. It does get the kill though, and the flag is on the move for BH3. And there's 2 down on the side of Gen.G, and a fresh spawner just got taken down by Septiq. This is looking like it's probably going to be 4-3, so still life here for BH3.
An immediate response from BH3, putting us back within 1 capture now. Setting up a grandstand finish. Do BH3 now have enough in the tank? Sunriiz is in the base. They have the people in positions to really capitalize on this now.
2 members of Gen.G moving freely together over towards P, but Septiq is going to be behind enemy lines. Mose also trying to do the same. BH3 are just a nuisance to play against right now. I think that's maybe Gen.G just a little bit confused as to why players are in certain positions. It's Breakingshot again, the true threat to BH3. As long as they shut him down, really helps them with their push.
And you can see what the tactic and strategy is. BH3 are having to defend their closet time and time again from Breakingshot. And if you don't deal with that threat, he will punish you. Septiq's running the flag now though, and he's got it towards the closet, which means Common can no longer do damage to him. But 2 members of Gen.G inside the base now. Septiq's gonna have to delay here. It's gonna be a brawl on the flag. Septiq has got to toss it towards the bridge. Common closes the distance. Common closing down. Septiq now, who's down to no shields, desperately trying to stay alive. This flag should go home.
Should do, but how about the next? Can they get a return on this one as well? They're gonna keep moving it. Common, who didn't cap a single flag last event, has already capped 1. And it looks like he might be able to get another here.
2 kills go in favor of BH3, which means Common has to delay this. Breakingshot goes down, as does Common. Here's the moment, all 4 dead.
Sunriiz quickly whips in and wicks that flag out as well. Somehow, someway, BH3 are still in this one. Great damage working together to stop that flag right on the point.
But Sunriiz prioritized running the flag instead, hoping someone else would be in position to get the return. He didn't stay there. He didn't make the return himself. And as a result of that, Gen.G were able to keep it alive. Sunriiz is going to try and juggle this flag up the stairs, but unfortunately, their flag is still in enemy territory.
So we get a little flag standoff, 40 seconds remaining, but of course there is a lead at the moment for Gen.G, so BH3 are the ones that have to make a move and try and get a return here. Sunriiz does get the opener. Mose goes down though as the response. It's a 3v3, and Septiq going down here. BH3 are on the ropes.
The impetus is really on BH3 to be the aggressor, but unfortunately for them, Common's in their base. And he deals with Sunriiz, combining with Breakingshot, gets the melee onto Mose as well. This flag will go home. Gen.G will claim game 1.
It was a tough old first game for Gen.G. BH3 pushing them to their limits. But how important could that victory be in this series? You talk about momentum, you talk about trying to make up for maybe a disappointing day yesterday for Gen.G. Maybe they can get back on track now and start looking towards that possibility of a championship bracket. Even though it's only 1, I think it was such an important victory to have. Otherwise, you really give the confidence right over to BH3, who of course going to have momentum behind them from yesterday.
There was a wry smile from RyaNoob there. We've seen him in the game getting loud. BH3 almost caused the upset in game 1. They show resilience. They capture the win. And do you feel, Dan, that that's something for Gen.G to build upon now? Because if the result had gone the other way, all of a sudden you find yourself down by 1. If you lose a Slayer, now you're in big trouble and the red lights start flashing. It's Mayday, Mayday. But now you can settle the ship, you can settle the nerves. You've won game 1.
Yeah, I think you have to come into this series with the possibility of losing a Slayer against a team like BH3 who have such good individual skill and the ability to just run you down and take 1v1s. But then, after seeing what Breakingshot was doing in that game, I'd be pretty scared about going up against any gunfight. Even RyaNoob was winning some pretty pivotal 1v1s as well. I think this is going to be a huge confidence builder for them, not just for this series, but potentially for the rest of the tournament. So, unless BH3 really come out guns firing in this next Slayer and like 50-25 them or something, and maybe the writing might be on the wall for this one. Just seems to be that little bit of extra teamwork on the side of Gen.G, and to be expected. You know, BH3 only recently making the change, adding Septiq back into the fray. Septiq took a pretty extended break from Halo Infinite, so there's going to be a lot of things for him to start to piece together once more, but he didn't look out of place, I will say that.
He's got reacquainted very quickly. His call tag, Dan, is Unk. Maybe paying homage to the age that he's currently at now. He's a veteran, he's well experienced, and sometimes that's what you need in these big series.
It worries me because Septiq started competing after I did, so well, if he's Unk, what am I?
Granddad.
Oh dear, that's... Then what's Walshy?
Oh god.
Walshy's in the ground.
Dust.
God knows what Wes is. But yeah, Septiq back in. And another mouse and keyboard player just to show what they're worth on that main stage. But Gen.G will take game 1 5-3. So we move over to Slayer Streets. And I do think that this could be a good one for BH3. They like to play that quick sliding round corners play style, typical to the old TSM style that we used to see back in the day. And if they do just fly at Gen.G, don't allow RyaNoob and Breakingshot to have too many 1v1s. They have an opportunity here to take this.
And make no mistake about it, the difference between these teams won't be the gun skill, won't be the individual talent, it will just be the teamwork. But BH3 have been playing this map mode combination since its inception. They'll know the keys to success, the recipe for victory, and sometimes it is just keeping them on staggered spawns, keeping them cycled, and I've seen enough from BH3 that they can make this next game competitive.
Yeah, I think Sunriiz and BastosS will be holding hands just as they have done for the last however many years, whether it's here on Halo Infinite or if it was back in Halo 5. They were running matchmaking throughout Europe for quite some time. But I think they'll be pretty happy with how they performed in that one. I know it's always going to be disappointing when you lose your first game against the team that's currently in 3rd place in the pool because you feel like it's your best chance. And then you have to follow up against TSM and then Optic. It's almost like the oppositions get harder each time, or at least they should.
It's a Mortal Kombat ladder.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? Who is the final boss?
You play against Goro.
And is that Optic Gaming or is it TSM? After TSM took down Optic, now are they the biggest threat in this pool? It's tough out here.
It's a slow, gradual climb, and it's not getting much easier. But you have to say, a massive congratulations to the 4 open teams that made it through, because it's never easy to get here. But unfortunately, the road doesn't get much easier either. But there's optimism for BH3. Played very well in that game 1 and very well could have won it, but for a few errors and mistakes made along the way. But game 2 could be a different story. This could be where Gen.G find real form and real firepower.
Well, I'll be keeping an eye on RyaNoob when we go into a Slayer. I mean, he's always been pretty good at Slayers, but in Arlington, he was averaging 1.4 KD across Slayers in general. Everyone else on the team was hovering around just the single KD. In fact, Breakingshot and Common were both negative, which is surprising, but also, I guess, not surprising at the same time when you look at Gen.G's matches and where they finished. But they did stick together. Also important.
Obviously seen enough that they think there's building blocks here, there's a foundation that we can build on. And perhaps these are the series now they need to win. Of course, they are 0-2 in pools. They are vulnerable to being eliminated and not even making it to that championship bracket. So still all to play for. They win this series, Dan. They're in the competition and they make it into the elimination bracket.
Interestingly, KingNick actually has the most kills per minute from the team, and he deals the most damage, but it's RyaNoob who typically gets the better KD.
I know what that means.
Yeah.
I know what that means.
I mean,
he's waiting to hear one shot here, no problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, RyaNoob is also one of those players that is typically looking for the flank, so he's going to die a little bit less, takes a little bit longer to root round.
I know that playstyle all too well.
Sadly, so do I. To be fair, that was my playstyle. Throughout Halo 3, that was what I was known for, was just flanking. And then sadly, you come into Halo Infinite where you can leave your team very vulnerable if you flank too often. So it really needs to be a planned flank. Not too many maps allow for too long to be taken, otherwise you just leave your team in a 4 versus 3.
Mine are not planned flanks. They're very long. They're very arduous.
You just spawn. I think you
just
spawn.
stroll.
No, you spawn. You see where the team is, and you run the other way. You say, "It seems like you've got that over there."
It sounds like you're fighting over there. I can shoot them in the back eventually.
I'll go A. I'll get round. And you know what? Sometimes it works.
Most of the time it doesn't. That's the issue.
All three of us die. You come through, get an overkill, and you're like, "See, guys,
I've done my job. I got your trades. Got your trades, boys."
Yeah, but they've just gained 50 points in the stronghold shows.
Looking at RyaNoob though, Dan. All that experience. You speak about his playstyle and how he's maybe had to adapt his style because, of course, seen great success in Season 1, getting top 2s and 3s with E United. But his fortune has changed as the meta's developed and as players have caught on.
Yeah, RyaNoob, I wouldn't say it's a fall from grace for him, because he's still at the very top of Halo. You know, he's still getting teams that get into the top 12, into the top 8, competing for top 6 at times, but is often just looking for that new squad, that new iteration, that next team to take him back up. But it's so hard when you look at the top teams right now and the ability on those rosters. And sure, you can find up-and-coming players, but Breakingshot, for example, great player that's been introduced to this squad. But when you look at the likes of Renegade and Frosty, and everyone who's just jumping on opposition, like, how can you even compete with that when you're trying to build a new squad? And I do appreciate that they've stuck with it, because I think the chemistry is everything. But when you're already in that chasing pack and you're quite a significant way behind, you're playing catch-up for the whole year.
I think it has to be said as well. Penguin on the sofa yesterday, he was talking to us and he mentioned how 2 players he's playing with, they're a little bit more moldable now because they don't have that egos. They have the egos in their ability, but not in strategy and tactics, and when you get to those big series. And perhaps that's what RyaNoob's trying to do. He's trying to unearth them gems that can carry him back to the promised land.
Do they start to glance over towards Europe again? Legend already stolen from our midst.
From our grasp.
I mean, he won a championship. Well, he literally won a world championship.
Yeah, we can't really begrudge him.
Can't really blame him.
It's like when your favorite player at your football club leaves for pastures and you, and then he goes on to dominate the rest of the sport. You still feel a little bit salty. It was Cristiano Ronaldo for me.
Thierry Henry left for Barcelona.
Yeah, and they went on and seen
but
success
they both
upon
came
success.
back.
They did. They arrived back, although our clubs were much different at the time.
The year is 2042, and Legend returns to compete alongside SLG again. Quadrant 0.7. You can see the players starting to load in and get ready now as Septiq leans forward. His wrist snapped to the left to make sure he can hit his keyboard, that it is angled in an incredible way.
You reckon he gets the ruler and stuff out and starts measuring exactly where it needs to be?
I do wonder that. I mean, there's a lot of Counter-Strike players here. I'm sure they will be able to tell you just what they do. It is something that has developed from PC games, of course.
Well, I mean, controller players head case over their sensitivities and stuff, and you imagine that, oh, I didn't hit that shot, I didn't quite move well there, and maybe I need to adjust my keyboard by a half an inch.
RyaNoob's got a double kill off the rip yet again. Make it a triple. Tell you what.
Uh-oh. (4-3) the score. That game started very quickly.
Almost too quickly.
Where did RyaNoob come from?
RyaNoob spawned mid-map.
I think RyaNoob spawned before everybody else. But none of that matters now as we're all tied up. You can see Mose remonstrating his camera, although that is Sunriiz's POV. Here's BastosS now. Camouflage is going to be burned. Looks as though it didn't get popped, although I see something on the ground shimmering. Uh-oh. That's a camouflage going into the chest of Gen.G, and perhaps that's something that BH3 would like to address again.
KingNick has a Stalker rifle, but he will get shut down by BastosS, so that's important. BastosS actually got a double kill here. He's going to get cleaned up. BH3 just need to make sure they don't allow Gen.G to get too comfortable with a lead here, because if Gen.G can start to control this game, pick up the Stalker rifle, start to get camouflage after camouflage, it could get a little bit ugly.
Uh-oh.
Septiq wasn't even aware that anyone was there, probably despite Mose calling him out. Sometimes you're just so trained on the battle that you're already in. For a mouse and keyboard player, usually you can just flick and look to the right though, so I am surprised.
Sometimes you're right. I think you just have tunnel vision to the person you're already shooting, and you hope to God that player in red room goes away. Unfortunately, he was going nowhere with the Stalker rifle in hand as well. 4-kill advantage now. Septiq over towards the pink side. Get some damage to the common after getting the kill on the KingNick. So not much separating them here. Camouflage could be massive. Shroud screen goes down. Septiq throws a grenade towards B, steps and tries to back away into the cover of darkness. The Shroud screen just covering his escape. KingNick spotted him out though. He tried to be clever. He tried to make it a little bit overcomplicated. All 4 dead for BH3.
Gen.G now can look to surround them yet again and just wait for them to come out of Tram here. And it does seem like Ramp is it's just a death trap at the moment. 3 dead again. That is a big lead now for Gen.G. And BH3, Septiq's able to hide away here. Septiq can do a lot, but he is going to leave the rest of the team behind. At least he gets one.
Two dead for Gen.G, so perhaps an opportunity for BH3 to build on that. They can just keep these spawns staggered. BastosS is over towards the cafe. Breakingshot sees that, notices it, but gets taken down anyway. Septiq will put another one on the board. Coming down to no shields over towards pink, or at least a bullet or two should put him away. That lead has been cut down now to 5. But Gen.G be quite happy now just to keep some distance between both teams, having to take the trades now and really make BH3 work for these kills. Again, 2 kills traded out apiece means distance remains 5.
Still, gap being closed is brilliant for BH3 because they were allowing Gen.G to get a little too far away from them. The game slows down a little bit with Camo coming up. Sunriiz takes down Common, so now it's just a 4-kill gap. Breakingshot's also fall into Mose, and KingNick's going to be the next target. Does have a Stalker rifle though. They really need to shut him down, which they do. 29-26, this Camo now up and available. Fun fact about Septiq, did you know he teamed with Ninja and competed on 5 when Ninja came and played in Europe for an event? Did you know that?
That's a throwback.
It is a throwback.
What game was it?
I think it was Halo Reach.
Halo Reach. Was Ninja's intention to come and dominate Europe? Did they win some events?
They did win the event, yeah.
So Ninja is 1-1 in Europe. 1 played, 1 won. That's a lot of ones I've said.
Wouldn't he be 1-0?
No, I'm saying he played 1 and he won 1.
Right,
so he's 1 for 1.
Right, just misleading, I think. 4 dead for Gen.G. BH3 now will take the lead, and that camouflage really helped them push the pace a little bit, being able to shut down Gen.G, who were over towards Tram, and now they're going to be spawning over towards PD.
Game does slow down. We head towards the business end. Fighting over towards B stairs. Mose is going to fall, as is Sunriiz. BastosS trying to do as much damage as he can, uses the repulse just to create a little bit of distance between him and the member of Gen.G, but unfortunately there was another player sitting on B rails, was able to get the kill. Common puts 5 shots into Sunriiz, they all connect, and the last one finds a face to confirm a kill. Now a 3-kill differential with Gen.G retaking the lead. The pendulum swinging back and forth now.
Tale is old as time when it comes to European rosters sometimes. Just when you think they're about to run away with it, take the lead into their advantage, the other team is just able to find that moment to get back on top again. It is often the difference between some of these North American sides is they just have a way to dig deep and go deeper into that playbook, you know? 38-37 though. 2 players kind of stuck over towards Courtyard here, and I mean, KingNick, can he get the melee? No!
Victory.
Thought that was going to be a guaranteed kill.
1 kill now, the point of difference. It's BH3 who hold that sender advantage. Camouflage has just popped up. And it's been popped into somebody's chest. The stock rifle now being used against Breakingshot and indeed Gen.G. Mose and BastosS combined to get a couple of kills. 3 dead momentarily for Gen.G. This is good news for any European fans. Indeed, European players in the server.
Oh, nice.
Nice trade. Over towards Laundry now. They just spotted out the camouflage pair now. BastosS is in big trouble. He's going to fall. KingNick gets Mose as well. The 4v2 on the map for a moment. They have the information. Septiq's over towards PD. Mose has just spawned there as well. Here comes the collapse.
Oh, nice.
Great shots, great damage coming out of Septiq. He drops down, gets another kill. Huge from Septiq.
Yeah, big kills from Septiq, but it's 47 to 44. So Gen.G certainly still in this one, but BH3 is slowly but surely crawling their way towards victory here. Mose laying down some damage onto KingNick. You can see backing off. They're trying to stay together. They're trying to find the roaming players of Gen.G, and they do get one onto Breakingshot.
Remaining.
This one's not over though. We've seen leads like this being flipped. Septiq though, more great damage from the mouse and keyboard player. The Englishman has been a turret, and they get the final kill. They tie up the series. 1-1 now the score.
And that really does show just how important that capture the flag victory was for Gen.G. As I mentioned, you go into the Slayer, you're always going to be concerned that these teams that are hot from the open bracket are just going to be shooting and firing well. But you got to remember, BH3 were down by 9 kills at one point. Great resilience to get back into that matchup. You can see Septiq just nodding along. Mose chugging his soda. What time is it?
Is that a soda? Like is it a soda or a black coffee? It could be either one.
Maybe both.
We'll have to ask.
I did actually have like a soda coffee for the first time the other month.
That sounds like terrible for everything.
I don't know if I'm like allowed to say brand names of sodas, but yeah, it was quite nice.
Taking a look at the stat sheet then. Septiq, it looked like he was doing a lot of damage, and yes he was. 4,100, tied with Breakingshot pretty much on the other side. A 6-kill differential in the end. But that was much better for BH3. Game 1, they could have won it. Game 2, they do win it.
The sad reality is for any of these open teams coming into full play, is Slayers, you are always going to be on a level playing field, I think. But it's the objectives of where this series is truly won, because there's 3 of them. Win both the Slayers, but if you're not getting the objectives done, then even if you are having great individual fights, even if you are winning every single bandit engagement you have, if suddenly there's a flag you have to worry about or strongholds that you have to worry about, it's quite difficult to win these series. But I will say capture the flag maybe is, well, it is very different to like a Strongholds or a King of the Hill, for example. Maybe a Strongholds would be good for this BH3 roster, because you can kind of move and groove while you're killing at the same time, depending on the map. Maybe Recharge isn't the best one, because it's a little bit more static. Like a live fire might be a little bit better. Sadly, it's Recharge.
It's Recharge. But I can tell you, considering Quadrant pushed the meta, and there were 4 French players, they do have half the squad being French, and perhaps maybe some of that information has been passed down. Maybe there's something in the water in Vive la France. Confirmation of what we did see, 5-3 Aquas CTF, 5-3. 50-44 Slayer Streets, like you say, Dan, on the horizon. Stronghold Recharge. Now I want to mention something about the open bracket teams as well. We highlighted yesterday some of the teams we're keeping an eye on, and it was actually Ether we thought were going to make it through and really cause some ruckus in the pools. But they actually got eliminated by Mindfreak last night. So it just goes to show you there's no guarantees in that open bracket. If you don't bring your A game, you will get dumped out on your head.
Yeah, even though we're starting to see familiar names and faces break through the open bracket, I think Mindfreak actually consistently doing it now, aren't they? I mean, they're one of the most impressive teams. They're begging for a spot to get seeded into pool play, I'm sure.
I think they're saying, can you stop making us do this open bracket
Honestly
thing?
though, but like if you think back to Mindfreak's history and the history of Aussie teams coming out anyway, often they would get 0-3'd in pool. You're having way more fun playing through the open bracket and then getting into pool play, because then you're warmed up. I personally think I would rather that. I don't know. Maybe I'll speak to them. Maybe we can interview them and see how they feel about it.
Well, I think for a sheer confidence thing, actually getting into an open bracket, getting some wins, going on a run, feels much better. It has to feel much better.
You get to play more Halo.
Exactly. Whereas if you get into a pool with Optic Gaming, TSM, you're getting dominated for large portions of it. What do you really learn from watching your respawn screen time and time again?
Exactly. I mean, even You know, you've heard of teams trying to scrim some of the biggest squads that are out there, and you get halfway through it and you're wondering, what are we learning by getting 50 to 20'd? You know, you really need to go back, look at that VOD, and actually be able to analyze what the other team's doing. Because sometimes it's not about what you're doing wrong, it's about what they're doing right. Teams like Optic and Shopify will really punish you and force you into positions that you're not typically comfortable with and that you're not used to playing out of.
And the crazy thing is we mentioned Optic Gaming and Shopify Rebellion because they are the pinnacle, they are the benchmark of what it takes to win championships. But then you think, well, Optic Gaming lost in pool play last event. They've lost in pool play again this event. So they're not even flawless.
I just think it's a strategy at this point for Optic Gaming. You know, we'll lose a pool play game, and you know, we'll drop into elimination bracket, and then we'll win the entire thing.
They do not like to do it the easy way. At the moment, Gen.G not doing it the easy way either. 1-1 in the series. BH3 have been more than competitive, taking that game, and that will do their confidence the world of good.
Back in Arlington, when you look at Stronghold, the key player, arguably Breakingshot, on average was getting 1.87 kills per minute. If you're good at maths, you can work out how many kills that might be on average. I'm not doing it for you.
Don't look at me.
RyaNoob, the biggest damage dealer though. So those are going to be the two players you want to keep an eye out for if you are BH3 here.
Septiq rocking a little stash there.
It's starting to come through. Unk's starting to grow his first muzzy.
I see some fist bumps around, so that must mean we're not long before loading into game 3. And what do you want to see from Gen.G here? How do they bounce back in this third game?
A win.
Yeah.
But do I want to see it, or is that how they're going to bounce back? The answer is yes. They would obviously need a victory. I think that you need to show your element of control that we saw in Aquarius capture the flag. Get hold of A and B, or B and C, whichever strategy you want to go for, and then just force BH3 back into spawn and don't allow them to rotate freely. Make them make mistakes. Make them try and go for a long haul push that you can just absolutely destroy with a couple of grenades. But at the same time, if you are BH3 here, I think you want to make this a little bit of a scrap. I think you want to get quite hectic with this one. Maybe push the barrier a little bit. Go for those trip caps. Try and make those spawns look a little bit weird so that this isn't your traditional Strongholds recharge game.
BH3 earning their spot through the open bracket and proving in this series they belong here. Difference being sometimes maybe in the objective game modes, the strategy won't be as ironed and planned and as well thought out as the North American teams. Just get more consistent, better practice.
Enemy team scoring.
It is BH3 who have the better of the early engagements here. They control A and B. They're the ones scoring for now. Mose going to come in and collapse. Can he get away? The answer is no. Common will hit him on the jaw. That puts Mose in the respawn screen. They're going to spawn out over towards long haul. B and C now flipped. BH3. So Gen.G have got to contest B, and they're starting to do that now. And nobody there from the European team able to contest it. They're opting instead to prioritize A.
For good reason as well, I think. Like the AC hold sometimes. KingNick is sneaky with it. It does hit the perfect, but all 4 dead on the side of Gen.G. So BH3 now have the freedom to push B and watch over towards pipes where these spawns are going to be.
These pesky Europeans, they know how to play a stronghold, I promise you that. Do not take them lightly. You will be at your own peril. Breakingshot gets a trade with Sunriiz. Mose now position top tower.
Septiq showing another one of those mouse and keyboard things that Royal 2 was talking about when he was actually up here for an interview. You go up against a mouse and keyboard player, you're shooting him in the back, and then suddenly they're firing back at you. You have to play in a slightly different way. Their ability to just snap back was exactly what Wooten was doing in the series against FaZe as well. Against Shopify Rebellion, excuse me. You can give me one, right? They did used to be on FaZe.
Come on now up. Breakingshot's not able to get into his chest. Mose just about rounds the corner. BastosS steps inside C. Septiq's there to combine with him. They continue the fight with a player in tower as well. Mose should get the close distance, get that kill, and does. Although the kills are going in favor of BH3, the strongholds still remain in control of Gen.G. They're spawning over towards gold and glass now. Mose is going to try and be an influence on those spawns. With the camouflage, RyaNoob has no idea where the Italian is standing. They'll trade C for B, which is a good trade in my books.
Mose just needs to be careful with this drop, but he does manage to get it before, but those nades are always so deadly. I think you're gonna be able to survive at batteries and a grenade just suddenly arrives at your feet and it's already cooked and you're like, well, I'm cooked as well. 2 dead for Gen.G, but Breakingshot showing that he can pick up double kills. And this is a scrappy game.
You mentioned for Gen.G about damage and who's the one who gets the slays. And it's KingNick showing that now on the stat screen. 10, 2, and 5. Sunriiz will get a killer. Sunriiz, as he's affectionately known as,
By Wes.
from probably just Wes. I can't confirm that's who it is, but it's more than likely going to be our Memphis man. RyaNoob bottom tower then, putting down some damage on the Septiq over towards the batteries. Opts to stay alive with just a sliver of health now. All of his teammates have fallen around him. Septiq might get spotted here. Mose and Septiq do combine to get that kill. So, the lead still in Gen.G's favor. It's not insurmountable by any means, but it is significant.
Team score.
And BH3 now back in the driver's seat.
Mose in an important position here because not only can he watch the cross, but he also has to be well aware of what can happen down towards Longhorn. And you can see he keeps just checking there. And I think he got a ping. I think he got the attention that Common was going to be here, and he does take that fight. Good confidence from Mose. Camo gets shut down as well. All 4 are dead, and this is what I was talking about. Push for that trip cap. Make Gen.G sweat. Make them try and do something a little bit different. Look at the spawn, though, from KingNick.
You can see Mose had absolutely no hesitancy there as well. He knew exactly what needed to be done. Close distance, got the C, captured it for his team. And now you make Gen.G sweat. Now you force them into errors and mistakes because they're losing so many points now.
BH3 have the trip cap. A good chance to jump into a listening and see what the comms are like for BH3.
Jump in, 2. Hey.
Top tower, top A, top. You're on me.
I'm dead. One more.
One shot. Any stairs weak. 2 in A.
Also in B.
Leave. We can.
Leave. BNC.
Get one tower. Okay, come. Tower weak. Watch out tower. Two tower weak.
Free. Almost one shot, top tower.
Go away.
We're going gay, Bastos. We're going gay. Spawn A.
I'm going back in B.
Okay, Trinity.
But I'm sorry, yeah.
Tower.
B.
Watch B, guys.
In B one shot. In B weak. In B one shot now. RyaNoob.
Maybe going gay.
He's not one.
L2. B box.
Okay, your last guy, Bastos. Yeah, he's pushing.
I spawn C.
Long. We spawn right.
Oh, look, guys.
Nice, guys. Here, Rob. I'm here. Top down weak. He's pushing. Push. Il est sur la box, il push. Derrière toi. Two Sunriiz. Deux sur toi. One more, t'es one.
One more on me, yeah. Back C.
Talk on.
One at B, 2 on B. Come on. Inside B.
Communication tactic. And there's some bad information being passed along as well. We heard the information coming that RyaNoob was 1 shot inside batteries. He was not 1 shot. As a matter of fact, he was at least 3. And sometimes, Dan, no comms are better than bad comms.
I know how that feels.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think there's several times we played matchmaking.
I don't know what you're talking
and I've got into a gunfight, and you've said it was 1 shot.
Well, he was at least 2 shots down, so you should have won the fight anyway.
I mean, I didn't say how many shots I missed. I was just he definitely wasn't one shot. One bullet. Oh,
Speaking of 1 shot, Breakingshot, putting one in the dome. Keeps himself moving. Mose anticipating where he might re-emerge. That nade takes him down to no shields again, but Breakingshot will continue to be an influence on this game with the shock rifle for now.
Well, when we joined the list, BH3 were in the ascendancy. They were hovering around 100 points and they had a lead, but now Gen.G are breaking away from BH3 as well, 183 to 139. And even though 3 members were down by Gen.G then, they just held a triple cap for quite some time because BH3 were trying to scarper their way across the map to try and do something as Breakingshot again trying to put this shock rifle to use.
Still has 1 more shot to work with as well. And you can tell by the communications it was pretty hectic and frantic from BH3. That can work when things are going your way, but as soon as things start to slip away, you need calm. You need good, clear comms. You need good, clear strategy. BastosS in that 1v1. And again, we spoke about how it's not individual gunfights that will be BH3's undoing. BastosS drops his head, makes his hitbox smaller, and almost gets a kill, but does enough damage to make the fight easier for his teammate. But Gen.G just have really made BH3 hurt with that triple captain.
It was a split push though from BH3. They put pressure over towards C and B, so at least they are scoring for now, but Breakingshot's been able to get round towards A, and he's going to be able to shoot them in the back here as they move towards C as well. Gen.G just seem to be one step ahead of BH3 right now, and it's going to be another camouflage for them as well. Breakingshot has been really a thorn in the side for BH3 with his movement. But it has been KingNick who's been doing a lot of the killing. Good nade.
Enemy team nearing victory.
Do BH3 have a response then? Trying to capture C. Gonna have no idea. Breakingshot's right behind them, doing a lot of damage. Opts to get away. Prioritize staying alive here. Use the shroud screen just to get away as well. Using so much utility. And although BH3 do capture C, it's not comfortable for them. They have to fight tooth and nail for every yard here, but they're being successful. KingNick's gonna backstab here. He's not gonna try and control C, instead gonna try and pinch from behind. Mose over towards Pizza, will receive 1 tick of damage. This should be a cleanup kill for KingNick. And Common gets the kill in the end. This is good for BH3, but as I say that, they lose C. The final knock-ins, the final ticks. Gen.G win Game 3 to retake the lead in the series. 2-1 now the score.
Again, just the chemistry shines through a little bit for Gen.G. BH3 were able to get it scrappy, get that trip cap for a while and start to gain a lead, but then once Gen.G truly had control of the game and they were able to rotate accordingly, it was just so difficult for BH3 to get back into it. Their spawns were constantly inconsistent, were broken up, often just in twos and being swarmed by at least 3 players or being backstabbed, like you say. And now Gen.G take a 2-1 lead, and good news for them is it's another objective game because, again, if the series layout was a little bit different and if we, change something that we've been doing for the last 20 years and put a Slayer here, you could be going to a Game 5. But with it being another objective, I think Gen.G clear favorites with how they've played so far.
Sniper rifle, which a lot of players can pop off on, and I know from playing BastosS in matchmaking, he gets drawn to that thing like a moth to a flame. But boy, oh boy, is he go with it.
Well, it was RyaNoob, though, who grabs it off the rip and rips Septiq's face off as well. RyaNoob's starting strategies have been incredible today.
Enemy has the ball.
Whether it was a double kill, a triple kill, or just a no-scope to begin the game. Knows exactly what he wants to do. Hasn't followed up with it since,
Enemy
though.
has the ball.
But at least
Ball
he
dropped.
has that sniper rifle and doesn't allow BH3 to get their hands on it.
I like to think this is good applying of pressure here. Firing a couple of warning shots across the bow. They don't have to connect as long as they know you're there, but he does eventually get
Enemy
the
has
body
the
shot
ball.
onto Mose, and KingNick will clean that one up. Camouflage now in the chest of KingNick. They can begin to roll forward. This oddball game won't be quick, so BH3 have an
Ball
opportunity to
dropped.
grow into it. Sunriiz currently with no kills, but it's only
Enemy
early
has
days.
the ball.
0, 1, and 2 for him.
Ball dropped.
BastosS 3, 1, and 1. So
Enemy has the ball.
the better start here for Gen.G in terms of setups. But a slender lead for BH3. RyaNoob's in big trouble. Septiq does finally lock in that kill as RyaNoob tried to delay his life as long as possible, hoping his teammates would come to help and assist. BastosS has got hands on the ball over, and he's looking to head over towards the window, but instead opts to watch bottom middle instead.
And this has been an important start for BH3. They've shown that they're not scared to pick up that ball and try and get some scrappy time. As soon as Gen.G hit that first shot with a sniper rifle, I think it was BastosS who just walked in and said, all right, well, I'll have the ball. You guys have fun playing with a sniper rifle. In all the meanwhile, I'll score like 15 points on the board. As long as you don't allow Gen.G to get this setup, then perhaps you can just pull off a victory here, or at least get a round. But now RyaNoob has that ball. He'll be trying to rotate it away from the rest of BH3 and probably head towards green. But if BH3 are clever, they'll try and cut him off.
And I wouldn't mind, you mentioned sometimes you can just let people compete for the sniper rifle, let the enemy team have it, prioritize getting the ball. Now we've seen that happen yesterday. Nemesis up against Shopify Rebellion, and they were punished for it. All of those 4 players started hitting some insane shots. As I say, that 4 go down for BH3. and Gen.G take the lead.
Yeah, although the difference is you're not playing up against a Frosty and a Royal 2, and that's no disrespect to Gen.G, but Frosty and Royal 2 were hitting some of the most disgusting shots I've seen so far this tournament. Alongside Formal, of course, who was doing something similar as well on the main stage last night.
Ball out of bounds. Ball incoming.
3 dead for Gen.G. Septiq's got camo. And no shielded player comes towards him. He cleans that up as easy as you like. So a slender lead now. 2 remain in the respawn screen. You can see Septiq was a little bit hesitant to go and pick up that ball. You can see why. Breakingshot was ready to just descend upon him. Sniper rifle will drop. BastosS now will get his hands on it. Like I say, like a moth to the flame.
What can you do with it? 4 bullets. One was good.
Considering the circumstances, good for a trade. Breakingshot on the middle, takes a lot of damage. Mose outputting so much damage here, trying to stay alive as well. Using that electric box just to try and move his hitbox out of harm's way for any grenades that might splash his way. Ultimately, he was all for naught as he does get taken out. And now, Gen.G has the ball over towards the window. The collapse is coming from big doors, so now it appears as though BH3 do have control of house. Septiq looked a little bit lost. He was trying to find where those shots were coming from. RyaNoob gets himself out of harm's way.
I almost feel like you have to check that angle so frequently now. So many players will just sit there trying to lure you in and get a couple of shots onto you for free.
Ball dropped.
The trouble is, if you check that angle too aggressively, you're very exposed to other angles. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Only a slender lead though for Gen.G, so BH3 are doing well to keep this one competitive. But this next set of kills can be important, and BastosS, and that kill is so important. If he had gone down there, then Gen.G probably going to put 20, maybe even 30 seconds on the board. But instead, now he can at least try and do something.
Enemy has the ball.
You lost hope mid-sentence there. For good reason. KingNick puts 5 fresh ones in the Mose. Gets Septiq down to no shields. KingNick really putting down so much damage in this series, it must be said. Very impressive performance. Currently sitting at 9-4 and 9 with 22 seconds of ball time.
Ball dropped.
There's real breathing room between Gen.G and BH3 now. A lot to do. Sunriiz tries to stop the camouflage being an easy grab. He was successful because Septiq got the kill. So camo burned. This at the least of BH3's concerns now. 3 dead. They have got to put some serious points on the board now.
I was going to say, get over towards tower if you're BH3 now, because you're losing the house game. Yes, it was a little bit scrappy, but Gen.G are just being able to get slightly better setup each time. Get to an area where you can actually play the ball each time you lose a setup. And sure, okay, so you had to play it quite early there, but you've gained at least 5-6 seconds. I'd say it's just as simple as repeat and get into effect, but sadly they lose 2 players and Gen.G are able to steal the ball away.
And sometimes the difference really can be that their setup got to 25 seconds, ours only got to 20. But you do that 3 or 4 times, you get a decent lead, you win the round. It is about scrapping every last second that you can.
Gen.G are just a little bit better at breaking setups, as to be expected with the experience that they have. Now Breakingshot has the sniper rifle. 9 more points required to take this first round for Gen.G, but BH3 are throwing everything at them right now.
BH3 throwing everything at them, Common throwing the ball off the map, making sure they can't get any points, and don't get an easy green setup. Septiq will get the kill, but Common will push 2 players into the drink.
Common throwing everything off the map, not just the ball. Big fight for Mose, does manage to get the kill onto KingNick, but he will fall afterwards. The ball was grabbed by Sunriiz.
What can the Rizzler do? Get 1 kill. That's good enough for now, but more will be demanded of him very shortly. Gen.G only requires 7 more seconds. Next time they get a break, they will win the round. The Europeans remain on the back foot, but they're trying to fight here. Sunriiz gets the player onto no shields, will reach out, and he's punished for it. KingNick and Common get a couple of kills. BastosS is there to try and clean up the damage. He'll answer back with a double kill. The ball now in the hands of Breakingshot, and he's bringing it towards green. The final seconds tick down, and Gen.G will win round 1.
They take round 1, and in the end it looked relatively comfortable. There was a couple of moments where BH3 tried to fight back, but the control we're seeing from Gen.G is just far superior. The angles in which they kind of force BH3 into. They're almost getting such easy kills off the back of it. And they really did like the push at the end, actually, from Common, round to back dirt. Took a very aggressive angle out wide. It's not a place you'd expect the player to be. So it just meant that he got the shot up onto Sunriiz. And then Sunriiz challenged him, probably shouldn't have re-challenged him, but man, I'm not going to be mad at someone for trying to just show a little bit of confidence.
I think the risk versus reward of that as well. If you get the kill, you can get even more points. Sometimes it is worth the risk.
And when you're 7 points away from losing the round, you kind of have to take risks. So again, not going to blame the man.
Camouflage now for Sunriiz.
Enemy has the
Pinging,
ball.
breaking shot, waiting for the walk past. That's very good. Now, plays like that, Dan, are good for a number of reasons. You guarantee the kill, yes, of course, but that extra couple of seconds where he's on the map but not shooting anything is another 2 seconds where you keep him off the board.
Just like round 1, it's an early lead for BH3, but this time, Septiq has a sniper rifle, and he is on mouse and keyboard.
Ball drop.
Whoa! Meow! Common getting picked up by speed cameras. Septiq, though, he's a player that can match that. The mouse and keyboard. Look at this. Spins on a dime. Looks for his next victim. No more sniper rifle bullets to play with, so he won't be having as much fun now. But this is much better from BH3 in the early innings. 32-5 now.
Enemy has the ball.
Something to hold on to. It's so fascinating, Dan, every time you get into a game of oddball. Round 1 and round 2 can be so different. They're starting to win that house control. They're starting to win the fights, the individual
Enemy has
battles.
the ball.
Of course, the spawning on a different side can really influence how that starting strategy goes. Similarly to how RyaNoob grabbed the sniper rifle straight away when they spawned on house side, it was Septiq who did the same thing. And I think just denying the other team a sniper rifle can sometimes be so important. Because you saw, Septiq just picked up 2 kills, and then suddenly you have the advantage as well. But the real question is, can BH3 actually hold on to this lead and convert this into a point?
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped.
See Mose just fizz himself out of existence there.
Ball dropped.
Fortunately, he's going to be sent through the portal with their sticky grenades stuck to him this time. KingNick gets a camouflage relatively unscathed, unchallenged. Now he can just watch the ball baited because he knows his teammates are in the respawn screen. They're going to fight for it now on scoreboard. He's going to tiptoe his way now over towards Sunriiz. Mose bottom middle does a lot of damage to the camouflage player and he's trying to get him out of the equation, but fortunately for him,
Enemy has the ball.
KingNick is completely backed away from any splash damage from those grenades. Hits a lovely 5 shot but gets killed from the window, which Common now cleans up on. So, sniper rifle pops up and Common has the option now to pick up the ball before it resets, but instead, Septiq delays it, makes him fight for it. RyaNoob shows up with the sniper rifle, and now Gen.G can take control of house, and they have some goodies to play with too.
Gen.G can take control of house, and we can take control of listening. Let's jump in and see what the comms are like for Gen.G.
Enemy has the ball.
Probably bottom mid. He's bottom mid. Dead.
Nice.
Snipe down.
Give me sense, give me sense.
Rat's clear. I got your back. Rat's clear.
A plat.
Rat's clear. Rat's
Watch
clear.
out top mid. And another guy A plat. Another guy A plat. Very big,
so
big,
clear.
big,
That's so
big.
clear.
Nice, that was my
Nice
one
one.
shot. That was my one. Pushing me, double pushing me.
Smoke out.
Watch out.
One shot.
Keter, on you, Billy. I couldn't.
You die?
Two in A. Screens. No,
Go
screens.
vent.
Two dead right now, two dead.
Go in the vent. He has snipe repulse now.
One shot screens. One shot screens.
Two key. I'm going A plug.
Step back screens.
In A, weak
There's
close.
a
Bottom
snipe
and 10.
screen.
Big door. Big door.
Big door.
Big door back to jail. Big door back to jail.
Two jail side,
Double
yeah.
A screens. Here. A pit. One shot. Septic. One shot. A pick.
Dead.
One shot. A plat. Melee. In A. Jail. A
Bottoms up.
pillar.
And Keter.
Two
Keter.
Keter. Last two
And
Keter
cuts.
after
And
jail.
cuts.
Last
That's
two
Obi.
Keter.
On Obi.
Enemy
On Obi and ball.
Ball is sniper.
Ball. He's weak.
Swap.
And another one. Another
Two on you.
one. It's 2 1 shot. We got both. Spawning Obi.
I spawn green. Careful.
ball dropped.
I'm going bottom mid, Nick.
Nothing top.
We have Q, we have Q.
I'm going bottom mid.
They're probably just left or.
They're not. They're not. Yeah, not right or bottom. Cut right now. Right. 2 shots in him.
This guy bottom
On
mid.
OV.
And Keter.
One mid. One shot bottom
I
mid.
killed those. Screens on me, guys. Something. I'm going out to you. Don't out to you.
I died.
I got him.
One Keter.
Two dead.
I'm in.
Rat's A weak.
Two.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Three.
Move.
Enemy
Play late. Wait for them to get to you. On you, nading you down. Nice, Dylan. Just fuck this shit, bro.
Alright, camo 15, camo
ball out of
15.
bounds.
Okay.
Dummy door.
I spawned.
His on.
Jail.
Dummy door. Going dummy door.
Taking the lead now, a 30-point advantage pretty much. Very clear communication as well from Gen.G, a very direct approach to how they wanted to get possession of that ball and set up to follow. For BH3, are they just letting this one slip through their fingers yet again? Because now they have to try and force their way back into the game, and the clock is starting to be against them as well.
BH3 haven't really been able to register much success since the early innings. They got that 30 or so points. I believe it might have actually been 34. They might not have had a point since then. Sunriiz does get a triple kill. You can see him getting a little bit passionate, getting a little bit loud, and that's what they need. But turn that passion into points. That's what we need to see from here on out. 61 now to 36. Ball is dropped once more. So that triple kill that Sunriiz was able to get, they're still not scoring any points. As a matter of fact, Gen.G are back on the ball.
Yeah, it's just a lot of these one-shots are getting away on the side of Gen.G, which is something that is not happening on the flip side. When we were in that listening, it was, where's the one-shot? Okay, that was my one-shot. We need to find the players that are escaping that are on no shields, because it's so important to take them down and capitalize on the damage you've done. Ball is going to get played, so BH3 do stop that, but again, it is 4 seconds on the side of Gen.G as they are now closing in on taking this series.
And if you look at the slays on the board of both teams, there's very little to separate them. Mose is sort of the outlier in that. 17, 11, and 28, so he would like to have a better game here. Maybe hoping for one more round for redemption. There's still time, but there's not a lot of it. The sand is very quickly slipping through their fingers. Sunriiz gets another kill. But Breakingshot's got the sniper rifle now. Ball is in a neutral territory, and Gen.G have got it again, and they start to now have the option to just play time.
Yeah, it'd be quicker for them to play time than it would be to hold on to the ball at this point.
Enemy has the ball.
Just want to keep this away from BH3, especially when they have the sniper rifle as well, although BH3 have forced back 2 of them.
Enemy has the ball.
There'll be one last chance to hold here for BH3, you feel. 3 down on the side of Gen.G. Sunriiz has the QT as well to try and find this player over towards green, perhaps.
Enemy has the ball.
It's going to be back and forth into the nether realm and then back out.
One last and final hurrah then in this series. Then you have the Demons and the Beasts waiting for you in Optic Gaming and TSM, who both looked formidable yesterday, going to a Game 5.
10 seconds.
This would, on paper, be BH3's best chance to make it into the elimination bracket, but Gen.G thus far have made it pretty easy for themselves. With seconds ticking down now, BH3 will not be able to do much about it. Gen.G close out the series, 3-1 the score, and they will be heading into the elimination bracket. Provided, of course, BH3 don't beat Optic Gaming or TSM.
Provided there's no tomfoolery with any sort of 3-way ties.
No more shenanigans.
The good and important news for Gen.G is they at least stop themselves from being eliminated as a guaranteed position on 0-3. They now can sit back and see what else happens in the pool. You can see a little bit of dejection on the side of BH3 though. They don't look particularly happy. I think they know that this was their most likely chance of taking a series. The good news for them, very much warmed up, and they get to stay on that main stage now for another 2 series as well. Can they put it into effect against a TSM or an Optic game?
A lot of work to be done for them. But Gen.G got their work done this morning. They won the series they needed to, and now it's out of their hands. They have to rely on TSM and Optic Gaming to handle the open bracket team. You'd be hoping they'll have enough firepower to get the job done and do Gen.G a favor. But there's always a chance. There's always that puncher's chance.
It's a good effort from BH3, certainly, you know, the Slayer going their way. I was starting to think, well, maybe they could just sneak one of these objectives, but it's a tale as old as time, sadly. And there's just been a team that's been together a little bit longer, has that extra chemistry. They get the objective work done. Even if sometimes they feel like they're being outslayed in moments, it's the time that they find when they do get set up is what we saw really from Gen.G. That was good work from Common to send not only the ball, but 2 players off the map as well. Ultimately, a good effort from BH3 though. They didn't look outclassed. They didn't embarrass themselves. How many times have we seen a team come out of open bracket, go into pools and just get slapped around? You know, 50-20 in the Slayers, 5-0 in flag, and an easy 2-0 on ball. It was a lot closer than that, and I think that's something that BH3 can be very proud of, because as BH3 progresses to try and catch up the other two European teams, you know, this roster is consistently being built to try and catch the rest. The real question is, can they just get that over that hurdle of these North American sides as well?
And I think there is foundation for them. There is optimism. This is far more competitive than it has been in the past, like you say. So if they stick to this core group, this four, if they don't make any changes when they go back home, because every time you come off the back of a loss, you come over to North America, you don't put in the performance you maybe wanted to in the pools. There's always an inkling. Do we make a change? Do we try and alter the strategy? Do we try and bring in somebody else? But if they keep this crew together,